It's just a bit before 7 and I finished up getting breakfast and getting ready, and baby is with my dad downstairs. So yeah, you will probably still hear her periodically throughout the day because of how loud she can be, and because I'm just upstairs in my studio working and recording. So yeah, I'm just about to get started on work, and since it's the last day, or the first day rather, back from vacation, I have we also live on a really busy street, so you will probably hear sirens going by throughout the day. Yeah, anyway, I have stuff that isn't the most exciting necessarily, a lot of email and admin to catch up on, and then later in the day I'll have a trip to the post office. And yeah, if there's time, hopefully I'll be able to work on a portfolio piece or two, and that should be the day. Alright, so it's about 8:15 and I've been working mostly on stuff on the computer for about the last hour and a half, and I have gotten a good start on my email and admin, so I'm feeling like I kind of have my feet back on the ground and am ready to get started on more work for the week. So I'm waiting right now for feedback from a client. Even though I was on vacation, I did do some work, and I sent sketches to a client this past Friday. So I'm still waiting for the feedback on those so I can get started on the finals. Hoping that will come through today, because just with the nature of my work, some people spend way more time on sketches, and then when it comes time to actually executing it, it's not as much time, because most of the work is in like creating the idea, and if it's like a complicated composition, that sort of thing. But since my stuff is usually fairly straightforward in terms of the composition, and it's time consuming in terms of creating the final, I always prefer to just get the sketches done relatively quickly if I can, so that I can have more time for the final. So really hoping that the feedback comes through today so I can just get started on that, because the deadline is the 23rd. So right now I'm actually just getting ready to, well, I've already uploaded the little intro video that you guys will have seen yesterday, I guess. So I was just taking a few minutes to put the cover on it and go ahead and publish it. So I'm doing that, and then in another few minutes I will have to pump because I am nursing our daughter. So during a work day, if she's with somebody else, she has bottles, so I have to take a few minutes to pump, and then after that I probably will transition to another project. And I think the one that I'll switch to is another one that will require work on the computer, so not very exciting to see today, unfortunately, but yeah, I'm doing a logo design for a local nonprofit, and we've kind of already gotten through the first phase where I gave them, how many options? I gave them 4 different options, and they've narrowed it down to 2, so I'm going to kind of tweak their favorite 2, and then they'll pick the favorite one of those. So yeah, that project is due at the end of this week, so I will work on that, and yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so I have just finished pumping, and I had a quick little snack. I had some leftover pizza. I hope there's not food in my teeth. I didn't check. Anyway, what am I doing right now? Oh yeah, so I think I've talked about this in other videos, but I usually like to send clients a thank you card, or definitely at least a thank you email, but some kind of a thank you card or a little note. And today I am putting together a thank you package for Tumblr. Now they're not a client, but I have had I've had a Tumblr since 2012, and I've put pretty much all of my working process on there. I usually do like full photo sets of progress photos showing each piece, and it's the closest thing that I have to a blog. And over the years, I've had some contact with different staffers who work there, and it's just been like a really positive experience. And a couple weeks ago, they put me in the trending section, and then they included 4 different pieces of mine on the radar, which is like the featured section of Tumblr. So I'm just putting together a little package for them, and with some prints and a piece that's mounted on a birch panel, because they have like a really big art collection at headquarters. I visited headquarters a couple of years ago, and they already have one of my pieces, but I just wanted to send them another one. And yeah, so I'm going to write a little thank you card, and I will show you all what I'm putting in the package to send to them, and then I will walk that over to the post office later today. All right, so here's the package that I'm getting ready to send off to Tumblr. I'm just reusing an Amazon box because it fit perfectly, but I'm sending this original piece, which is mounted on birch panel. So I've got cardboard, little pieces of cardboard on the corners to protect the edges. And then I'm just reusing some Amazon packaging material to keep it from jostling around. And I'm also sending, gosh, this is going to be loud, I bet. Okay. All right. Phew. Anyway, also sending some prints just for people to take home. Yeah. So I'm sending, I think, 5 prints and the original, and then I'll put this piece of cardboard on top to protect it, just to kind of keep everything in place, and a little thank you card. So I'll finish packaging that all up, and we'll take it to the post office later. All right, it's a little bit after 9. Package is all ready to go, all packed up, so I will take that to the post office later. Now I think I'm just going to transition to doing some more work on the computer. My dad is downstairs with the baby, and he has the Sound of Music soundtrack on and is singing with her. So I'm hoping that the music isn't going to come through too much, because I don't want to infringe on anybody's copyright. But yeah, I just finished pumping, and depending on how long we have childcare on a given day, I pump at least once, sometimes 2 or 3 times. Thankfully, it doesn't take me too long though. So yeah, I just finished that up, and I am having a cup of coffee. So I thought I would take a minute to check in. So I've mostly been working on that logo project that I mentioned, and it's coming along. Unfortunately, I can't show it. I feel like every project that I've been working on lately, I'm not able to show. They all have confidentiality agreements in the contracts. So sometimes I can't even mention them, or I can't name the client. But this one, at least I can mention it. I just can't show any of the work yet. So yeah, I am trying to further develop 2 of the concepts that the client liked, and I think it's moving in a good direction, but I'm definitely not satisfied with it yet. So they're due on Friday, and I will definitely do more work before then. Yeah, what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I wanted to mention, I guess just address some of the questions that you all have asked about being a freelance illustrator and a working mom at the same time. And every day is a little bit different, but one of the things that I do is we have help. So we're really lucky to live in pretty close to my parents, a little bit less than an hour away. And my dad is willing to drive down 1 day a week and provide almost a full day of childcare. He's here for like 7 hours. So that's unbelievable, and we're really grateful for that. And then Eric, his job isn't as flexible as mine, but it is, in the grand scheme of things, it's also a flexible job. So he's usually able to care for her about 1 day a week as well. And then we have childcare on like 2 to 3 other days a week, depending on how busy the week is for me and what my workload is like. So I would say like the first sort of most important, the foundational element for me is that I know that I'm going to have a certain amount of time each week, whether it's 25 or 30 or whatever. Whoops, my memory card was full. Anyway, I was just saying that having a preset amount of time that I know for sure each week I'm going to be able to just focus on work, that is huge. And also having the flexibility to, this is a good thing and a challenge sometimes, but just being able to kind of change things from week to week, I guess. So like if it's a particularly busy week, to be able to have additional childcare, and if it's a week where I don't have quite as much, to have a little bit less. So yeah, I think that's like number one thing that has been the difference that has made it work for me, is being able to have childcare. Now I know that that's not practical for everybody, and depending on what phase you're in your career, it just may not work for you. So there are other things that I do as well, and I'll talk about that as it comes up. But yeah, I wanted to just be sure to mention that because that has been definitely a big part of how I have made it work so far, how we've made it work. All right, so my dad has just left. And the baby is down for a nap. So I am taking a break from the admin and computer work that I had to do today, and going to work on a portfolio piece. And I am pretty much always trying to squeeze in portfolio work around the edges wherever I can, just so that if the projects that I'm working on, if I'm not able to show that work, that I still have something to share online, certainly with you all, and then also with art directors. So just trying to always have more stuff going up, more projects coming out. So right now I'm working on building out, there's a few sections of my portfolio that I'm trying to build out a little bit, and one is portraits, and another is objects, just because I do really enjoy drawing objects in addition to drawing food. And today I am working on a drawing of a red high heel, and I am trying to make myself use these because they're beautiful and I saved for them for a long time. So yeah, I want to actually make sure that I use them and not just stick with my Prismacolors because they're what I know and what I'm comfortable with. As I mentioned to you all before about these pencils, they're really nice, but they are a little bit harder than the Prismacolors. So and the colors obviously are different. So it's just a little bit of a change and outside my comfort zone. So this is a teeny tiny little piece that I'm working on, though only about 6 inches by 6 inches. So it's a good way to kind of stay focused and have a limited application for trying to work on it with these new pencils. So I am going to do that. Someone is up early from her nap, and that's okay because it means she probably will take a longer one later, or hopefully she will anyway. So I'm gonna run and change her diaper and then feed her. And usually she's in a pretty good mood when she's just woken up. So even though my dad is gone for the day, I'm probably going to try to get some additional work done, just hanging out with her in the studio. Yeah, you can see she's still tired. She's like staring off into the distance. So yeah, I'm going to go get her changed and then we'll head back to work. All right, we are headed out to the post office to drop off the package that I'm shipping to Tumblr. And I realized that we're completely out of packing tape, so I'm just going to have to pick some up there. Yeah, and I also will be picking up a package that was sent by a fan that was dropped off here, and I wasn't here to sign for it, and I didn't make it to the post office while we were on vacation, so I will pick that up as well. Penelope! Penelope! All right, success. We have dropped off the one package and picked up the other, and somebody is very tired. Hope I have that in frame. Yeah, so we're headed home now. I always like to try to save out and about work, like shipping or picking up art supplies for when baby girl is awake and when we don't have childcare, just because it's something that I can pretty easily do with her in tow, and she loves being out and about, especially in the stroller. Not so much a fan of the car, but thankfully we live in really close to the city in a pretty densely populated area, so I can walk to tons of stuff. Yeah, so headed home, should be there in a few minutes, and then she probably will go down for another nap, and I will try to get some more work done. Oh my gosh, you guys. So right after I stopped filming the last little clip, I looked down and Penelope had like the biggest blowout. So I'm not going to show it on film because that would be disgusting. But yes, I just finished cleaning that up and getting her down for a nap. So she went right out. She's super tired. So I'm going to do a little bit more work upstairs. And yeah, I actually may stop working relatively soon for the day because I started at like 7 a.m. So yeah, I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more done. And then what I may do is actually record some more while I'm drawing and just talk with you guys about a couple more of the questions that have been asked. So I'm headed upstairs right now. So I am just putting away the colors that I was using for the high heel illustration and picking out some colors for the next piece that I'm going to work on for a little bit, which is also a portfolio piece of an object. But I thought of a question I wanted to ask you all. So as you can see, these are all really beautifully organized. This is the container that they came in, which is a really nice box. I think I've showed it before in another video. And this is like a really nice, sturdy kind of foam. And they were all perfectly organized when they came, but as you can see in the ones that I have, oops, there's the strap. In the ones that I've already been using, they are out of order already. And yeah, and I'm just curious how I should store them, whether I should keep them in this container, whether I should, I mean, honestly, I probably won't keep them in this container because I don't have the patience for color organizing things. But my big question is, if you work with different kinds of colored pencils, like if you work with multiple brands, so like right now, I pretty much have only done stuff with Prismacolor, but I have like the Softcore in one container, the Verithins in another container, and the watercolor pencils in another container. So if you work with multiple different brands of colored pencils, what do you do? Do you store each brand in their own container, or do you put do you just organize them by type? Like these are essentially Softcore pencils, so would I just put them in the same container as the Prismacolor Softcore pencils? I don't know, I haven't decided yet, so let me know your thoughts on that if you work with colored pencils and how you organize yours. Somebody is up again, and it was not a very long nap. So I think, yeah, I mean, I think I've already said this today, but pretty sure she's teething, so she's just not feeling like herself. But thankfully, I had a good chunk of childcare this morning, thanks to my dad. Thank you, Dad. So I was able to get a bunch done, and I think probably since it's later in the afternoon now, it's almost 4. Whoa, yeah. She's grabbing at pencils on my desk. I think I'm gonna go ahead and probably just end the vlog here for today. I have a friend coming over around 5 and we're gonna make dinner together because Eric is working late, and yeah, that's the plan for the rest of the day. And Penelope will probably go to bed around 6 or 6:30, so she's got a couple more hours. And then we will see you all tomorrow. So yeah, I'll end it here and we'll see you soon. Bye. Say bye-bye. Bye. All right, that's what you get today. Bye.